adept. I need troops.
As you command, magos.
Today, my long-neglected mechanicus army are getting some troops, but not too many, just 15. So, models for 3 squads, because it's what I could find at the time of working on them. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, and welcome to Mechanicus Diaries 2.
So, on the painting table tonight is 3 kataphron destroyers,
A 10-model squad of sktarii rangers,
and a 2-model squad of sktarii rangers. So, let's get started.
Okay, so it's on to painting up the kataphrons. And first off I went over them with some silver, then I noticed some spots that needed repriming. Then further on with the silver, now that's just Vallejo Air Chrome. Went in with some black on parts of it, and then came in with Belisarius Gold across it to just do a lot of the more cob work. Then came in with Caliban Green to paint up the green armour, to paint up armour plates and add in a tone. The tone on the weapons? No, I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Yeah, you see me working here on toning up the base, adding in some, using orange to get rust on the various metal looking bits on the base that I made. Now those bases I actually made myself using scrap and trash and packaging. Now you can see me continuing on painting both the main colour and some of the robes, then coming in doing some weathering on more of the base and the tracks, further attaching the base, working on the weapons, adding in, bringing up the colour for I brought up colour for the weapons, then came in and did the skin, and have gone back over doing stuff, and now back onto the weapons. And now it's time for work on the skin and the weapons. Now I blended the blues to get them to be lighter, because I like building up to white, just it tends to look better. We've got, now this is very fast, I'm sorry if that's too fast for you, going over bits, over the lenses now, and bringing them all up to colour, because there's a lot of colours that go into lenses. And then further work on the weapons, because I wanted to build up to white. Next up, I come in over the mechanicus icons and also do some white dry brushing over the model to further add in that tone. Then come in with Chaos Black, or no, Abaddon Black, sorry. And then keep going, really, just ramping in the details and making things a bit more coloured, and further honing in the details. I could have spent a lot longer than I did on these, but instead I went, okay, I'm going to try and get these up to what is my version of tabletop standard, which is kind of above tabletop standard but not Golden Demon level. I'd love to be at Golden Demon level, but I'm not spending 6 months painting a single model. So yeah, you see me kind of continuing to build up the black over the mechanicus icons. Geez, they're a pain on smaller stuff. Now you see me attaching in the kataphron onto its base, and here we go, bringing the plasma cannon in. I believe it's a plasma calver, but let's be real, it's just a bigger plasma cannon, and here we have me zooming in on them in special lighting. Just figured I'd do some special lighting for them. And now it's onto the sktarii. So the sktarii, I had some that were complete and that weren't complete, but close to, so I decided to go over the rest of them and get them all together now. Initially there were 12 of them that I had found. Then I found another one. And eventually I'll find more, and there'll be a bigger video on doing all of them, but yeah, you see me going over here just making sure of the green and doing the brown for the leathers, because a lot of them have leather on there, and it wasn't until painting the Vanguard, the Ranger Alpha, that I realised the backpacks have leather over, or a leather texture. Next you see me here building up the colour tone on the cloak to try and make it look a little worn. I could have ramped that up a bit more and probably should have, but realistically I just wanted to build the colour up and get these looking relatively nice. The arc rifle model you see there is heavily converted, which is why it looks a bit different, and the bases are all, I believe these ones are mostly just cat litter and bits of plastic gear and the occasional cultist head, rather than my standard recipe that I do with guard and some tech priests and mechanicus stuff these days, which is using sprue and geary bits. So you see me coming in here with the metallics. It's essentially a much longer version of the process from earlier, but instead I'm focusing on building it up. Now the two greens I used here was moot green and Caliban green. I also have that Tesseract Volt or whatever it is, the contrast green. So I'm coming in now with a pen. I applied varnish off camera onto the models before this stage so I didn't scrape any of the paint off, and I'm just putting in the cog trim with a pen. It isn't the most efficient way, and I switch over to using a brush eventually, and am at this point, because ink is a different beast to work with. You see me coming over with stuff with more of it, and then here we are going over the back icons. I'd gone over them with silver first and then went over them with that, and then said now I've got the paints out of the view. You can see the kind of work I'm doing from there, and yeah, basically building up the leather tone. I'm sorry if I'm going a bit too fast here for you guys to see quite what's going on, but it's essentially a massive amount of batch painting and building up of tones and lights. This is mainly just me painting in the lights and then doing weathering on the base and doing the glow on the plasma. And so, here are the sktarii. So I didn't like how I did the original ending of the video, so we have a new one. So, first up we have the kataphrons with their heavy weapons. So I got these out of the Imperium magazine more than a year ago now, I think. And yeah, they've been a slow work in progress for ages, and then I decided earlier in the year to just ram them through. And yeah, I did get them there, decent bits of heavy firepower. I kind of liked that the old Mechanicus Combat Patrol had them in it. Geez, that old Combat Patrol had a lot of firepower. We had a squadron of these. We had a dune crawler and a ranger squad. The ranger squad being kind of underwhelming, but still, that was a lot more firepower than what you got now. Although, I'm saying that without having properly digested the update we just got for Mechanicus Through the Core Rules update that just happened recently. I worked on all of this before that, back when Mechanicus was still considered, I believe, terrible was the term. But yes, these are a good kit. I would say get them, do what you can to get them cheaper. Gap Games had a few for a while. You can still find them on eBay for less than retail, especially less than Australian retail. I do like how I did the eyes. Now I'm hoping the camera's going to actually... Ooh, that just that flares it. It doesn't actually help it very much, unfortunately. But yes, a lot of my armies this year are going to get faction diary videos. So I'm going to be bringing back the Sister of Battle diaries that I was doing back before we got the plastic range, and that I was doing with my army, where I conversion built a whole force of them using Dark Eldar warrior torsos, legs and torsos, and sktarii arms. I don't need to do that now to have plastic sisters of battle, so I'm going to do something different. We've got that first sktarii ranger squad, now the other one are up the back, but these ones I want to talk about for a bit, because there are some conversions here. So first up we have the one-handed sktarii ranger with arc rifle, which I converted to have him pointing instead, and gave him a new hose instead of the original one, because I wanted to just add some variety in. Next we have one built from ruins, which gave me another rifle ranger. Oh, I missed a spot with the red. Oh, I'll go back to it at some point. We have a wounded one, which the wounding look kind of comes in because I needed to gap fill. We've got the Ranger Alpha, who you may have seen it. Did I do it with the other one as well? No, I didn't, dang. Oh well. Basically, an idea I had years ago was for my Rangers to have, for my Alphas to have the cog trim on their shoulders. Now, that doesn't work so much with the other one, but it was still cool to do it with this. There's a few of these that have got the plasma gun or plasma weapon backpack because I couldn't find backpacks for them, so I went with what I had, and then this one I had to convert up an arm so that, because I couldn't find a matching arm to actually connect onto the galvanic rifle. Also, how bleeding long are those rifles? Like, let's just put one next to a trooper. Like, look at that. In real life, that is probably nearly 2 meters tall. It's huge. And then you look at the arquebus. It's like, boof. We've got long as heck. I know someone who actually who had to scale down them sktarii props because the things would have been too big otherwise. But yes, in terms of scale, I should probably have done this before. We have that Magos Dominus from earlier, from the start of the video. We have the sktarii, and we have the Dune Crawler. Now, the Dune Crawler bases, I had the idea of just having them going over rubble, because I just wanted to do something interesting for them. The sktarii bases were done at around the same time I did this Tech Priest, so I need to touch up the base a bit with some more super glue and primer to keep the stuff locked down, because back then I was using what's it called? Cat litter. Clumping clay cat litter particularly. But I might use some of the other one. But yes, we've got, here's how an engine seer compares to both of them. Engine seer is slightly taller. Let's just put them there, and then let's just bring this squad up here. So yeah, there will be more mechanicus diaries later in the year as I connect that. There we go, the phone's not being noisy now. There will be more mechanicus diaries in future as I do things as I get more things done. But yes, we have the Rangers. Now, if you're wondering about the details on here, that's just gears off eBay and a mixture of cat litter and super glue with plenty of bicarb. Even more bicarb on here because I need to get things to stick down, and that's why it kind of ends up looking like concrete. Oh well, the way things work, eh? So yeah, it's just... Okay, so we now have the contents of the video models done. Well, together is what I meant to say. So yeah, these have been a work in progress for a very long time, and I am happy to have them off the painting table. Maybe they'll even see some action this year. that being said, do you guys have a favourite mechanicus unit? And if so, what mechanicus units, or alternatively, what mechanicus units would you like to see me actually paint up on the channel? Because I'd love to do more. There's a lot of really cool stuff within the army. I love their aesthetic. They also are a terrifying nightmare to paint because of all of the bits of metal, especially on the more complicated models like your tech priests. And yes, that is a converted Dominus. I unshrimped your Dominus. The engines here. Eventually, at some point, I will have a sktarii marshal to show off. Originally, I actually recorded this video, did this video to be a companion video to the sktarii marshals because I was going to show these off with the marshal at the end of it. Then I never finished the marshal. And I ran into tech issues with the camera partway through recording the Marshall's video. So yeah, that video might just be a build, base and showcase instead of a build, base and paint. Because I mean, you've seen me paint these. That kind of shows how I do it for the Marshall. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I will be back in future with more. I hope you enjoyed, and how's your June been? Has it been a hobbyful June, or have you been busy doing other things? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye. Well, no, I won't drill every barrel in my army.